And we're live. Happy Wonder Wednesday, everyone. You're back here with us with another event at Floxies community. For those of you that haven't joined us before, Floxies is an international community for women who share an interest and a passion for UX, UI design and Webflow development. So we meet here every Wednesday at this time, and we also have an amazing active Discord where we basically chat every day and share our resources and our knowledge and experiences. So very excited to have you here with us today. I can see Nimesh in the chat. Hi Nimesh. And so today we will be talking a little bit about automation and Webflow together, as we have our guest speakers, Adriana and Niklas from GridUp, that will be showing us all about that. And so without further ado, hi everyone in the chat. Let me show you our accessible metaverse, or so I like to call it, on GatherTown, which is where we host our weekly events. So let me join everyone else around the table. Dun, dun, dun. And we're live. Hi people. Hi everyone. It's great to see you all back this week. And I was just giving a brief introduction on the topic that we will be discussing today, which will see automation joining the world of Webflow in the form of GridUp. So welcome to our guests, Adriana and Niklas. Excited to have you here. I know that I met you briefly during the Webflow Conf in San Francisco. And so, you know, that short connection made it possible for you to be here today, because I really wanted to have you as a guest. And I'm really intrigued to see how GridUp can really help us optimize our Webflow builds. So without further ado, I'll let it over to you to give us a little bit of an introduction on who you are, maybe a little bit of a background, and then we can dive into your presentation.
Sure. Hey everyone, my name is Niklas. And Adriana is also from our team, so we're both co-founder from GridUp with two other guys. So maybe I start a bit about talking about myself. So 8 years ago, I started as a freelance web developer. So in this whole time, I was working for a design agency in Germany, and I was really struggling with developers and how they develop my designs. So I was searching for a solution, and I found Webflow when it was just a small site builder, so no CMS, nothing really extended in this time. So then over the time, my business was getting started, and I got more and more clients, mostly in the luxury and fintech industry. And at this time, I was really struggling to get all the client work done. So I wanted to be financially free and serve always some clients, but I also always ended up with struggling with my time. So to sum it up, my ultimate goal was to earn more, work less, and have cool customers. So I tried to optimize my processes by developing kind of style guide, copying and duplicate project, reusing stuff whenever I could, or even buying template. But I kept running into the same problems over and over again. So how do I build structure? How needs a site be structured? How do I name classes exactly? How do I use global settings best? And thereby I noticed that I'm doing the same task over and over again. But this task didn't bring me any benefit, but they were technically necessary. So,
hi, my name is Adriana. I'm also co-founder of GridUp. I have a background in business and IT and was working for a large automotive company back in Germany. Now we moved to Switzerland. Here I worked for a small startup. And then Niklas and I actually founded an agency together. And from that, GridUp was established.
That's amazing. And do you think that GridUp is just the result of you basically running into some limitations on Webflow, or maybe some tasks that, you know, might have been taking you longer than what they should have, and so you kind of proposed that solution? Or did it come as, you know, let's get together and see what happens?
Yeah, actually, I saw, like, Niklas is the Webflow developer from us. And I was in process management before, and process optimization. So that was the perfect match there. Because I saw him struggling with his customers. Like, he had many, many customers. But at the end, it always came down to time struggling, right? So we set principles, like how do we want to work and how can we optimize this? But Webflow didn't allow us to. So we had to do these tasks. Niklas had to do these tasks. So we need to find a way how we can actually, optimize them.
Amazing.
In our own way.
Yeah, that would be really, really great. And I'm sure that is going to be super helpful to so many people out there that are, even maybe starting out with Webflow. And so having these solutions straight away before running into those limitations could be really powerful to them. Should we go and see what it's
Yeah.
all about, Nicholas?
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second.
Amazing. And for anyone here around the table at Floxies, feel free to drop any questions you might have during the presentation in the chat. And for anyone in our audience on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch, feel free to do the same and drop your questions in the chat. We'll make sure that we collect them all and ask them for you.
Perfect. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So first of all, let's open the GridUp extension. So when you have installed it, pops up here on the top. We have 3 different solutions. So we have like a site builder. It's in the basic tab. We have components and pages. So what we do first, so in this project, there's no style guide at the moment. So what we are going is step by step, we choose some different buttons. So we have 4 types: primary button, secondary button, and tertiary button, and button link. So let's choose, for example, the button 18 here for this setup. Secondary button, for example, the button set 20. For the tertiary button, let's go with button 7. And button link, we take the button set 8. So then we click save. So there are different ways. So you can also mark here your favorites. Also, you can filter the different components. But we save here. Then let's choose navbar. We go, for example, navbar 5. So save that. Choose a footer for the project. So let's click here. So there are different types how you can install your style guide. So for example, you can delete all existing styles, what you have in your project. This is, for example, important when you want to keep the complete content in the project. You can delete everything, or you can overwrite existing ones. So when you have different, it's like the same classes, they're going to be overwrite, or you can skip equal, so and there's nothing going to be crashed. So it's just adding the new ones. So then we click build. It takes 30 seconds. And what's now happening, the style guide is going to implement it in the page. And also the structure is going to be added.
Are you counting those 30 seconds?
Yeah, I think my wife is. We moved in a new apartment, so that's funny because I'm here in a high room, so that's a bit slower. So
no worries.
Sometimes it's also if your Chrome needs updating, things will go slower.
I think it was spot on 30 seconds.
Yeah. It depends sometimes also how Webflow, the loading time of Webflow. So yeah. So what now is happening? So you can see the GridUp style guide is be added. So there's a complete documentation, also how the completely style guide is set up. It's based on the FinSuite client 2.0. And what the good thing is, like, you choose the different buttons. When we scroll down, you can see now there are components created for the buttons. So they have also interactions. So for example, I can show you for a second. So you go over it, there are completely animation on it. And now we can go back to the extension. So for example, we want to add new pages. So what we can do now is, like, we can choose different pages. So for example, here, about, services, contact, or we can also give them put them in different folders.
I'm not sure if it's just me, but I think you need to make it a bit slower because actually your screen is kind of taking time. Yeah.
Oh, sorry for that.
Mine
So
is going
also...
yeah, maybe just like half a second slower, but mine is, I can see him. I can see it well.
Okay, perfect. So also when you have make a mistake here on writing, you can also change that. What we're now doing is like click here on create all. So all pages going to be created, what we set up here. And when we now go to the page, for example, to the about page, so we can see that the pin suite structure is edited. Also the navbar and the footer, so they are completely done as a component. And now, for example, we can fill this page with, for example, with a page first. So we have pre-built pages. So we, for example, we can click on the page, so you can have a live preview of the page. Also, you can mark them. You can also open them on our website to have a look. And then we click here on copy. And then it's can edit here directly. So delete the main wrapper. So now you can see there also automatically the buttons are completely changed in the component, so you don't have to do that. So also you can see it in the navbar. So you don't have to delete them when you have like difficult like animation on it. And also you can change this buttons separately. The other way is you can also jump to the home page. So at the moment in the home site, there's no page structure added. So for example, we have a separate solution. When we click here also on basics, we have here add page structure. So we can here select the pages they haven't, for example, a structure. So you can click on home, add structure, and ta-da, the structures also be added here on the page. So this is one separate feature. And also we have integrated here on the settings a style sync, where the components are, and when you make, for example, changes in the classes, when you pull in the component, it's changing automatically. So let me.
We lost him.
Quickly
he's back.
build here some choose. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let's fill up the site. So we have here, for example, when you hover over the elements, you have like a short preview also. And let's start with a header. For example, we take the header 14, put it in. So the good thing is when we're here on the favorite tab, so I put here some different components so we can fill it up, for example. Make copy, paste it in. Here a slider, for example, just wait until it's copied and it's going to be added here automatically inside. So so we have also like some custom animation components. So for example, here this the slider.
I love that. I think somebody showed me a sneak peek of this from the other presentation that you guys had, and I was like, oh, I need to see the slider. I think it was Aida. Yeah. Yeah, I want to see the slider.
Yeah, the good thing is like, so what we have done, for example, you can see it here. So we have here, for example, the custom CSS embed and the JavaScript embed. So when you open here, for example, the embed and copy out this link, you can visually see the images, so you can change it, but you have to add the script then to the head tag. It's both possible. And when we now preview it, wait for a second. You can see it here directly, so you can pull, and you can also customize it. So that's all set up directly then in Webflow. So we have also like very difficult ones from pricing, and we're adding more and more soon.
Mm-hmm.
So but next what I'm going to show you is like the style sync. So for example, we go in here and change, for example, this primary color,
Mm-hmm.
so for example, to red. And this was the content 19. So for example, we copying the content 19 again. Just a minute. So, and put it again inside the project. There's no duplicate content, so classes, so you don't have to, they go only automatically override them. So our system knows, okay, this class is there at the moment, and when we add the new one, it's automatically set up. So nothing breaks and you don't have to change the selectors and classes.
Well, that's cool.
Yes.
Let me see if there's any questions so far in the chat. So I can see Maria was asking, is the page structure predefined or we create it? And Adriana replied, the page structure is predefined and based on client first 2.0. Any more questions so far? Especially like for people that have recently started as well with Webflow, like do you need us to go a little bit slower? Do you want to see it again from scratch? And for those of you a little bit more advanced, is there anything in particular that you would like to know, or should we carry on? Let me see around the table. Maria, I can see your hand. Off you go.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
And that's why I was asking actually for the structure, because I was thinking, yeah, of course, you have a logo, you have the main wrapper, you have the footer. Makes sense. If, for example, I would like to have in all my pages, I don't know, a contact form, that it's already a section inside there. Is there a way to automate that? Or do I need to go to its main wrapper and add it?
So that's a good point. So what we are working at the moment, so we are focusing really on the optimization. So our goal is also to set up components that we can also push to different pages. Not that you ever have to edit manually everywhere, so you can also push it similar to what we have done here. So you predefine the different pages, and then you can push the component there, for example. So we are adding more and more features like this this year. Yeah.
It's actually on our roadmap. That's why we love coming here, because we like to gather all of the features that you like, and actually get all of the requirements directly from you, because we're kind of developing the roadmap, and that's definitely on it. So that's great to hear.
User feedback.
It would be great, like, for example, to be able to kind of maybe add stuff before you start building more pages, like your main structure. If you know you already need more stuff, like for bigger projects. Although, it's okay. It's already minimizing a lot of work, but still. But I would, for example, I would just copy the page. So I will grab, I would have the wrapper with the extra stuff I always add. It will be already like a page I copy. So that was my thinking.
Awesome. I can see somebody from LinkedIn has a question, but Muhammad, feel free to write it down so that I can read it. If I reply to you, you won't be able to see my reply because LinkedIn's API is still closed. So feel free to drop it in the chat and I'll read it out for you. Anyone else here from Floxies before we carry on? All right, I think we're good to go.
Perfect. From the tool side, I think you've seen most of it. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, that with what's possible with this, because it was quite fast going through all of that. Maybe we can show you a bit more just in a second. Because with GridUp, you can actually automate the whole setup process, right? You can start, you don't have to build pages from scratch anymore. You can actually create a page, you can fill it with page structure. You can see that on the home page, because adding new pages with page structure actually creates new pages that have already the page structure, but the home site, for example, was already existing. So if you're working on a project that you had or that was existing already, you can add the page structure afterwards. That's also possible with the second feature. And then also with the style sync, you can actually create pages, fill them with components, and you don't have to replace each and every button anymore, because that's already synchronized and it actually replaces all of the buttons automatically already. So also there's no need to replace any duplicated classes anymore that you would have done before. And also that means that you make just fewer mistakes, because maybe you've experienced working with other designers or working on large projects. If you also reuse components, there's still so many things that can go wrong. And when you synchronize everything, that just can't happen anymore because it's actually the same component and it's done automatically for you. Our plan for the future is also that we bring the complete style guide with colors, with everything to GridUp. So you actually have one place that you adapt. You have one place that is completely synchronized. At the moment, we started off with that. And as I said, we love to get feedback so we can actually explore what's needed most and also prioritize our roadmap according to that.
Amazing. And, you know, as you were saying, having these presentations or, you know, just we have so many amazing communities in the Webflow space. And so I'm sure you'll get enough user feedback to create an amazing product. And, you know, it's looking great already. So that's really nice. The question that we had from Muhammad was, in fact, about having to duplicate the class or not. So he was asking, when Nicholas updated the gray color to red, if he changed the class name from gray to text color red, will it automatically be updated or will the class be duplicated? So maybe we can show that again to that feature in particular, Nicholas, if you want.
Mm-hmm. I hope I get you right. So he wanted to change the class name, correct?
Yeah, so he said, you know, if when you changed it from gray to red, will the class be duplicated or not?
So no, it didn't get duplicated. Mm-hmm. So when you change it, so what we have done, so you can see that normally we have given every color a different name. So for example, background color dark, background light. So the goal is here also to connect that later. So you have like a headline color, so you have like a headline color light, and you can use them, for example, connected with the different section components we have built. But you can, for the style sync, you can just change the colors, and then when you implement it, it's automatically done. So all classes they are in the project installed, they cannot they don't go overrided. So they will be overrided. Sorry, correct.
And so, do you want to change this again into a different color, just for the sake of showing it again?
Yeah, sure. Make it blue, and then when we just add the component, sorry, 19.
What's important is when you try that out, that Webflow needs to have loaded the complete page, right? There is a green tick on the top of the page, and that's really important that it has done that.
Good tip.
You can see that's also then blue, not overrided. Yeah, so that's important. So when you copy it now it would be duplicated. So that's we have to do that because our system is running, and when it's approved from Webflow, so Webflow is not loading any in the background, so then it works.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, no worries. I hope that answers your question, Muhammad. No, don't be silly. The question was super clear, and it's good to run through these examples again because it's so that we can learn it better. Do we have any more questions here from our lovely community? Yes, Maria.
It's my second exposure, but I didn't have a chance to play with it, so now I start to get more questions, right?
Great.
I was wondering, because in Client first you have this huge style guide of everything, like containers, and is this in the same place that the new style guide was created? Is it a separate page? How does it work visually? Like if I would open it, if you could show me or something.
So you mean so the structure is it's the same structure, but visually we changed it in our case how we like the structure in Webflow. It's a separate page, so I can also share my screen for a second so you see it again.
Mm-hmm. We love hands-on, Nicholas. Sometimes you just have to show us over and over again till it sticks in our heads.
No worry. So yeah, you can see that there are different elements. So for example, when you're here, you can also click to different points, so you can come down and then you see the different classes. so they're completely like heading style H1 and then to the other ones, and you can change it directly here. The text sizes, text weights, the heights, so you can really, it's all documented here. And you can change it here directly. Also like the colors, they're all here. So you can also see like button color dark and button color dark hover. So this is the hover effect. So when you for example, use a button from us and you put it in, and you change the hover, it's automatically changed then on all buttons, but you can also customize them. Also, I think that's also a good point. So here, for example, we have all the components. They're are created from the style guide. So if you, for example, want to use your own button that's not in our, for example, you have a very special one and you want to use it also for your project. So you can just open the button and component and delete our button here and put your button inside, and it's automatically you can it's going to be added as main button. The same is also for the navbar or footer. So if you have like a special footer or navbar, you can do it like the same way, and it's automatically changed and put to every page automatically. Yeah, that's the complete structure.
Great, Maria. Did you want to see something else?
No, in the third time I'll see the presentation. I'll have more questions.
Oh, feel free. This is an
My
opportunity.
brain needs a little bit of time.
Yeah, of course, you need to process, but it's great to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
these
Sure.
talks because it's a learning opportunity, and we're just sharing our experiences and our knowledge. So feel free. We have another question from LinkedIn. What is the best process to get ourselves familiarized with GridUp? Are you planning to do YouTube tutorials or some sort of documentation?
Yeah. So first of all, we offer a 7-day free trial. So there's no credit card information required. You can just try it out as much as you like. The only thing you need to consider that's very important is that it only includes 30 components. So the free trial has 30 components and the paid trial has 500 plus components. Because we oftentimes get the question in the trial, like, do you add more? And yes, there is more, just in the paid subscription then. And yeah, we have just started with with tutorials. We have a large resource page. You can just scroll through it. There is a lot at the moment in text. We are going to add more videos quite soon.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. We did have another question in terms of documentation from somebody signing up to our event today. Somebody called Mars. How do you document your automation process? Documentation.
You mean means I think the process from GridUp, how to implement it, or from the extension point of view?
I guess like in terms of documentation, do you have that on your website, or do you have that internally? You plan on sharing that? This must be like somebody coming from the automation world, and I know documentation is super important. And so I'm assuming like they might be asking, are you going to incorporate that to your website?
So we have the documentation internally, but to be honest, we haven't discussed that in detail. Are we going to share that or not? We need to discuss it with our team members.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment, it's not planned.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And then another question we had from Petra. What kind of websites do you recommend building using GridUp? Like, is there a specific type of business that you would recommend using this system for, or?
The good thing is that our components, what we have built, they are undesigned, so you can just use it for every services.
Mm-hmm.
So we personally use it also for really a lot of different services. So you can customize them, and we are more focusing really to bring all the more value also in the community, also to add different complicated components, but our long time goal is really to add more features in the extension. So. Yeah.
But the thing is also when we created the components, we oriented a lot on software as a service companies, and on also on a huge variety of industries. Actually, we are ourselves working on the one hand side on the luxury industry, on the other hand side on the software as a service industry. So it's quite customizable, to be honest, and so it's actually very suitable for lots of
nice. Do you have any examples you're willing to share publicly on like a use case that you were able to optimize using GridUp?
There is going to be a video of us building the Apple page with our components, but to be honest, it takes us quite a bit of time to make that ready for sharing. So it will take a few more days or weeks.
All right, no worries. Okay, let me see. Well, a silly question. Well, I don't think any question is silly, Mohammad. So he says, a silly question. Are there any discount codes for Floxies community?
Yeah, I just told you before when we were just chatting here, there is a discount code. It's called Floxies 10. I will share that with you afterwards, or maybe also Claudia, you can share that.
Yeah, I'll share that internally with our Discord people as well.
Perfect.
Awesome, and thank you so much. You know how much I love goodies. Amazing. All right, do we have any more questions here from the community about GridUp? Do we want to see the tool back in action? Let's see. Penny, I think she asked, but I think that question was answered. Will you be adding more components in the future? Yep, that will come. And yeah, I don't see anything else.
Maybe just one quick note. Niklas also said we have undesigned components. We have also components that are a little designed, like dark components, for example, because we saw in the future that there was a demand for that. So they are none too little designed, so that can actually help you to actually imagine a bit better what you can do with them.
Mm-hmm.
And a small animations are also added.
Yes. Somebody is asking here in the chat, do you have any favorite websites that have been built with GridUp, or maybe not yet?
So yes, we used one, for example. Let me share my screen.
Awesome.
Quickly. All pages, all some of the components in there for sure. Mm-hmm. let me share my screen. So here, for example, we used also a lot of components from GridUp. It was a mix. It was not only from us, so a lot of were rebuilt, but a lot of components. Also, when we build components, we also going to unstyle them mostly, and going to use them also for our extension. Yeah, so just one, for example, by any. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. There it is. I'm gonna share it in the chat. Share it here. And I'm curious to hear about people that maybe have started with Webflow recently. Like, do you think this will help you develop a bit faster? So I know that some people here have started the ADP list Webflow course recently, and so just wanted to hear their perspective as well. Like, do you think you will be implementing this? Would you like to see more? Probably more components is something that people use a lot, because it's something that it's ready, it works, and so that especially at the beginning, it's easier to just use them and modify them, edit them to according to your needs. But I was just curious to know if anyone here had any more questions about this tool, or even if you're if you're using it already, if you've seen it in previous presentations. Like Maria, if you have any more questions, feel free. This is your chance.
Okay, I was looking to sign up. Not right now. I'm waiting for some money, but still. And I was wondering, can I add my VAT number? It's a little bit irrelevant, but kind of relevant at the same time.
Yeah, you can, but in your account later. So when you've created your account, you can do that in the account. Yeah, just there is a special field. It's not called VAT ID. We're working on that at the moment. But there is an empty field you can use for that.
For the invoice. And 24%, it's a lot of VAT to add.
Yeah.
So I'm like always looking. Okay, thanks.
Perfect. And so there's a comment that says the animation on the scroll down. I love the animation on the scroll down on that homepage. I'm assuming it's the Annie.co that they were referring to. That's cool. Awesome. All right. Aida, have you used GridUp already? Just gonna put you on the spot. But I know that she might have, you might have seen this presentation before, or I know that at least you know GridUp.
I have checked, like I've been through the library and checked all the components and stuff to just, see what I could use for my next project. But I have not applied it yet. No.
Nice. As as a developer yourself, and she's like one of our rising Webflow stars. Is there a feature in particular that you would really need from GridUp, for example?
Me? You're asking me, right?
Yeah. Because I know you're working a lot with development these days, and so if GridUp is meant to optimize your workflow, what is it that you might need the most?
Well, I think what it would be great, like e-commerce stuff, like filtering options or product, e-commerce basically pages for shop items, and search and filtering options would be really good as well, because it's really complete what you guys are doing. Your the library of components is looking really good and promising. So
thank you.
Something I will stick to.
E-commerce is actually on the roadmap. It's in design at the moment and in development. So it's designed already, just in development.
Nice.
I can also share my favorite component if you want. So what we built is a very complex one. Let me share one. It's my really favorite one.
I just love to see it in action. Everything. Every time we have these presentations, the more I see of it, the more it kind of sticks with me. Is that a component?
This one is also like it.
That's cool.
It's a component, yeah. So that's very cool. I personally like it. That's also completely built. You can see it directly in Webflow. It's a pricing one. That's my favorite one.
And so does the price change accordingly to how many? I didn't see that.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Cool. What's your favorite component, Adriana?
He stole mine, actually. I said it before. No, I also like the slider he showed before. I also like that one, yeah.
And obviously, all of these structures or grids, however you want to call them, they're responsive, right? How do they look on mobile? And do you have any issues in terms of accessibility?
Yeah, they're all mobile, and that's also no problem. So we edited it completely, and there's nothing. There's no problem at all.
Maybe you can show also how the page looks like on mobile, mobile and the pages page.
Yeah, sure. So,
Bye, Gloria. She says, she's leaving, but thank you so much for creating such a powerful tool.
Nicholas is very fast at closing his screen sharing.
Nicholas, don't close your screen. Just let it sink.
So they're completely built. Maybe let's go to the about page. It's also,
All
I
right.
think. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and do you have one with the animations? So, for example, the slider, how would that work?
On mobile, you mean? Um,
Yeah. So if you add the slider,
um,
I just
I'm not sure if I can make it in a preview. Let me quickly do it maybe here. Open the console, it works. So yeah, you can
oh, that's
push and
nice.
drop here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so that would work 100%. Yeah.
that's cool. I'm renowned for finding trouble.
Yeah,
Awesome.
when you
But
build a
also,
lot of components, sometimes there are some things we have to rework, but mostly we are really looking forward to the perfect done.
That's great.
yeah, we had to rework every single component after the conf. But let's hope Webflow doesn't do those updates that often.
Oh,
And
that's a good point. Like, are you going to integrate any of the new features that have been launched during the conference?
Which, for example, do you mean?
Just trying to think, like, for example, the variable fonts and all of that. Are you going to create some components that will kind of integrate those features? Or even the
Yes.
logic. I don't know how the logic, nobody. If there's anyone here that knows about the logic, let me know. But I know because you're into automation and all of that. I don't know if you guys have any intel into that, or if you're going to keep working on that route of automating tasks.
Yeah, so we get access for like I think for a week or something. So we are also going to test it. But yeah, so we going to add also like different features. For example, like this with the fonts, we are going to add maybe in some components, and also we have worked on new ones also with color gradient directly in Webflow and all the stuff. So there will be coming more soon. So we are on it.
Perfect.
yeah, we're focusing more on those complex components than just the basic ones, because you can get basic ones in so many libraries these days, that we try to really focus on, like filtering and all of these things that make it easier to build the complex stuff.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well. We have a suggestion. When clicking over the I button from the components page, if the component opens in a new tab, that would be great. So the user can open a bunch of components and select through them. I hope it makes sense.
Noted. Thank you.
Okay, I understand that.
This is like completely like built in public style, which is amazing. I love it. I think it works really nicely, and ultimately we're all here to provide products that help other people work in a better way, and so it's good if we can all contribute to creating the product we want.
One more question.
Yes, Maria, I'm loving. Can I just say, I'm
do
just
you have-
loving your interaction today, and I'm ever so grateful that
I'm
you're
surprised.
here.
I'm surprised it's not common for me to ask questions. Anyway, do you have a Discord or some kind of Slack that could ask things, suggest things?
I think Adriana is in our Discord, but if you're not Adriana,
No, I
I
mean
am.
I'll be
like
sad.
agreed up Discord,
We-
like a specific one.
At the moment, we don't have a GridUp Discord. As we were so busy building all of this, we thought we couldn't handle a huge community also at the same time. So at the moment, we have a support. As soon as you have created an account, you can actually open tickets and just ask us anything there. Also, you can send me a message whenever you have a question. Please feel free to do so. I've shared my email address there, and we're going to set up something. We're not sure if it's going to be Discord or Slack, but there will be coming something soon. It's just not set up yet.
If you need a Discord community, I can make you one.
Thank you.
All right. I think that is all in terms of questions. If anyone else has any burning last minute question, please drop it in the chat now or never. And
okay. Claudia, I have an
Yes.
answer for you asking about the components and mobile. If you go to the library on the site, you get both the desktop and the mobile version.
Oh,
So you can see how it's going to look.
that's nice.
Yeah, I'm checking the page, so I'm learning stuff. It's like,
Yeah, we just implemented that.
That's amazing. Can you show us, Maria or Niklas, whoever, just to show the
Yeah, sure.
public?
Let me open that for a second. So here. So yeah, so you can click here and then you can see it directly on mobile. So
So
and
those
you
are
can
the
also
different
browse them.
components, yeah.
Yeah, I think like the really basic ones, but there are more complex ones, so you can test it out. And
Nice, perfect. Well, Maria, if you're looking for a job, I'm going to introduce you to these people at GridUp.
Then the Q&A also, like.
Amazing. Well, then, if nobody else here around the community has any questions, I guess we can let them go. I'm just going to have a look through the community. I'm just going to see if anyone puts their hands up. Just last minute questions.
I think Penny just raised a question.
Oh, I didn't see her.
How long did it take you to build GridUp, she asked.
Oh, yeah, in the chat. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to answer that, Niklas?
yeah, that's a good question. I have to calculate backwards. So I think for the extension, because we had to come also into the complete Webflow build to understand how is the structure, how we can implement everything. So I think it was about 3-4 months, I think. Yeah, something like that. Also, we had to do a lot of bugging and to checking everything. And also like the components did take a while. So I think 4 or 5 months, something like that. So
yeah, I think updates at the Webflow Conf cost us about 3 weeks extra.
yeah.
Without them, we would have been ready 3 weeks prior, but yeah.
That's great. It's great to see how many people, got inspired from that conference and just like kind of kept creating more and more straight after that. It was really nice. I mean, the feeling there and what came out is, some great products. We had you at GridUp. We also had Puzzle come in to show us, and so all those products that we kind of met during the conference. It's really nice.
Yeah, we'd love to be here as well and get some straight on hands-on feedback and questions, because also we will add them, of course, to our FAQs, like those questions that arise very often.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to come back and just do like a hands-on, let's build a landing page using GridUp, more than happy to.
Oh, and I have a suggestion. Late March, early April, I'm going to be in Milan. Just drive down. Let's meet. Let's have an aperitivo. And Italians drive up.
Yes, there's all sorts of meetups happening right now. And so, yeah, that's something that we should do more and more this year, especially now that people can travel a bit more freely. Like, yeah, let's do more of that, because it's clear to see that when we got together, so many great things came out of that. So.
Yeah, we also plan a meetup, probably in Berlin. We're not sure yet. Also with Webflow, end of June, starting July, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Also.
Never been to Berlin, so why not?
Awesome. In summer, it's great.
Awesome. Well, very, very thankful for you both to be here with us today. Thank you so much for coming and show us your beautiful tool. I'm sure, at least we'll definitely play around with it and get back to you with more questions as we start using it. And yeah, if you do want to come back, maybe later on down the line when you have more components and things they want to try out with us, let's come back and, just have a hands-on practice session with the community.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Yeah,
It's a
thank you for
pleasure
having us.
to talk to you guys.
Of course, of course. And yeah, so next week, I think we're going to start a couple of events on design systems. So we try to satisfy all our Floxies here. We have Webflow developers and also designers. And so we try to provide content that can serve both of those categories. And so we will be focusing a lot on design systems. We're going to have 2 events based on that topic. And after that, we will see what the people need. We shall bring them. All right. And if you liked our content today, make sure you subscribe to our channel, give us a shout, just send me a DM, make me feel better today. And so, yeah, thank you so much again to our guests for being here. Adriana, it's exciting to have you with us in our Discord. Very, you're proud Floxy there. And so, yeah, take care, everyone, and have an amazing week ahead. Floxy's love.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
And thank you everyone here on social media. See you all next week.